Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on this Thursday evening. Great Thursday night football game going on right now, 20-14 in favor of the Dallas Cowboys. The Nashville Predators, who we were hoping to see potentially win a seventh straight game, are currently getting handled right now at Bridgestone Arena by the Minnesota Wild and their former head coach. But we are here to talk about the Titans and the Colts to get you ready for another football weekend. Before we do that, need you guys to share this show around on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch, wherever you are spending time with us. We got to talk about how the Titans can beat the Colts at their own game. If you are hanging out on Twitter, please retweet the show, bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you're on Facebook Live, you can share now to public. That is in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. And if you are on YouTube or on Twitch, apparently staticky, so we can go ahead and correct the situation and get this off and rolling. It might help if I turn my mic back on. Bert, thank you for pointing that out. Excellent work by us. Anyway, we've got a lot of ground to cover. Not a lot of time to do it as we approach halftime of this Thursday night football game. So we'll talk about how the Titans match up with the Colts, how the Titans can beat the Colts at their own game this Sunday, and we will do so together. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time from the Zen Sports Studios. I'm your host, Buck Rising, and I'm proud, as always, to be presented to you by the great folks at Zen Sports. Download the app, plug in the promo code ATOZTN, that promo code that you see just over my left shoulder there, ATOZTN, and be entered for a VIP tailgate experience for Titans and Colts on Sunday. The law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, wherever justice demands. Amanda J. and her team have you covered. They will protect your constitutional rights at amandajgentry.com. And TrueMath Fitness in the Gulch. Go to TrueMathFitness.com for your first workout free as a Middle Tennessee resident. Nobody goes above and beyond to put you in position to succeed on your fitness goals the way that TrueMath Fitness in the Gulch does. Geno Smith trying to get the ball down the field, trying to sneak some points before half, 20-14, like I said. 2nd and 5 for the Seahawks, who are out here trying to knock off the Cowboys at home. The Colts are going to come in here and try and knock off the Titans at home. They're going to try to be the first team to beat the Titans at Nissan Stadium this season. Nav454 says, we know how the Colts match up with the Titans. Ben Hall says, Buck, don't think you're fooling us with this weirdly optimistic thumbnail. That, of course, is the work of Robert Lee Walsh, who is here to try and talk you into, lull you into a false sense of security about the Titans facing the Colts on Sunday. And here's the thing: there's a couple of different reasons to be more optimistic than not about them on Sunday against Indianapolis, and I think we're going to cover some of that ground here tonight, because certainly that was a game that was imminently winnable for the Titans at Lucas Oil back in October. So why shouldn't they be able to hold serve here at home? BF says, Buck, I'm here for you if you need to talk. Well, you've been here for me all season long, and it's a lot of good that it's done me, BF. Here we are in the same position. Ben says, no, we don't need to hear from Bert. I largely agree. But what we do need to hear from is you. We need to hear your Two Rivers Ford take. What is the Titans' best advantage against the Colts on Sunday? In the comment section is where you can reply. It's presented by Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people, quality American-made Ford vehicles, and award-winning customer service. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. So, what do the Titans have to do to beat the Colts on Sunday, and where do they match up the best? Well, it's pretty interesting to look at this because we've gone over this a couple of times with the Titans and the Colts, and the idea that Zach Moss and Gardner Minshew may be a more viable threat to you than were Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor. Zach Moss had 165 yards, 2 touchdowns on 23 carries in this first game, and of course, stopping the run will be critical. But the difference in this game is that the Titans will have a little healthier personnel situation as they try and beat their division rival. Now, you've heard from Greg Cosell on Will Levis. I want you to hear from Derrick Henry on the idea that he was pretty disappointed in only having 43 yards rushing against the Indianapolis Colts when last they met. This was Henry at the podium today.
Ran a play and it happened, you know, the same way he was talking about. So he was trying to coach me up during the game and tell me, you know, what was going to be open. I just told him, I said, you was right on that one. You know, he always tried to give me tips throughout the game. So credit goes to him, but I'm going to still get on him about not letting me know he was mic'd up during the game.
That's a pretty big crime for a guy not to tell everybody he's mic'd up, right?
A big one. A really big one. So as soon as I go in there, I'm going to get on him about that. So.
Do you think he made some kind of deal with the mic people?
If he did, that's another crime. Not letting nobody know. So,
do you let people know when you're mic'd up?
Oh yeah, I gotta say something. I gotta say something because I was mic'd up a couple years ago and totally forgot. So I'm definitely gonna let them know. I kind of messed up one time last year. I didn't let Tony know, but it was all fun and games. But you know, whenever you got the mic, you gotta let everybody know you're hot. So crazy as it. I got one.
While that video was playing, it looks like it may be overturned here, but the Seahawks may have just scored a touchdown. They're trying to determine if Jackson Smith-Njigba had control of the football as he went to the ground. It appears to be the case. Deron Bland not having a good game. They're throwing right at him, first with DK Metcalf, now with Jackson Smith-Njigba, the rookie, who may have just given the Seattle Seahawks a lead on the road at Dallas. So stop the Colts offense from getting going, says Ronnie Crowder. And listen, the thing that you need to do is what the Colts did to you in the first game. And I'll explain what I mean here in just a second, right after I remind you that the Primetime Show is presented by the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. Wherever justice demands, Amanda J. and her team have you covered. Go to AmandaJGentry.com. They will explain to you how they can protect your constitutional rights, what your constitutional rights are that need protecting, and they will go with you from there. AmandaJGentry.com for more information. So in this first game, 23-16 was the score between the Titans and the Colts. Colts got after Ryan Tannehill really, really well in this game and also ran the air out of the football. It's basically the game plan that the Titans have had in the last couple of meetings when they've had so much success against the Indianapolis Colts. On Sunday, the roles have to be reversed, where it felt like the script was flipped on the Titans and the Colts in Indianapolis in October. The Titans have to retake the narrative by getting back to their style of play. They're capable of doing it. Indy is for sure the better football team right now. But the advantages of home, coming off a win, I think positive momentum by the quarterback, who is dealing with an injury, but still has been dealing with that injury for a couple of weeks now and has still managed to find ways to make plays. There are reasons to be optimistic about the Titans on Sunday. Now, whether you want them to win, whether you would rather them lose out. I know some of you were disappointed that they beat the Carolina Panthers on Sunday. I think that's kind of lame if you're a sports fan with your team in season. I understand the idea of playing for better draft position at this point, but also I don't care about better draft position because there's 6 more football games to cover, talk about, and watch. So in the meantime, if they can get a win over a division rival and maybe not make the playoffs, but to keep the Colts out, I think that's worthwhile competition in the meantime. We'll move on and ask you who you got in this Thursday night football game. The Seahawks or the Cowboys here in just a second. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch is where you go to comment. While you do that, I will remind you that the Primetime Show is made possible by True Math Fitness in the Gulch. Go to TrueMathFitness.com for your first workout free as a Middle Tennessee resident. True Math Fitness always goes above and beyond. No workout ever recycled or repeated at TrueMathFitness.com. So before we get to who you got, what is your level of confidence that the Titans can beat the Colts on Sunday? Bert and I were talking about this, and we are weirdly, cautiously optimistic about Tennessee at home. I don't really have a good explanation for it other than Henry's motivated, other than things feel a hell of a lot better after a win than after a loss. Seattle went ahead and scored a touchdown anyway. This one to Noah Fant to take the lead. This is really an incredible Thursday night football game for those of you watching along on Prime. But we talked about a couple of different things that give the Titans the advantage. And I do think that what we talked about last night with Greg Cosell and playing you a clip from the install about Will Levis and his progress, I do think that he is actively elevating his teammates right now And I don't think Indianapolis is that much better. That gives me enough confidence to say that the Titans should be able to beat the Colts on Sunday. They are favorites at home. They are 1-point favorites at home. Ironically enough, they don't even get the 3 points that home field advantage would afford. But, to hear Greg Cosell tell it, he really liked the way that Will Levis continues to make progress. And even how he looked on Sunday, even though there were some inaccuracies that Levis himself thought that he had. Offensive line here in a little bit. But he himself brought up some location and accuracy issues that he was having in the game afterwards that he felt like was the first time it really manifested itself in a game that he was able to kind of work through and they were able to kind of work through as a team. So what did you see from Will Levis watching him against?
That's really interesting because, I didn't think he had that watching the tape.
Okay.
I mean, you know how players are, and from what I gather, I've never met Will Levis, and you have, obviously, and probably talked to him, and I know that he's an intense young man, and he probably remembers every single throw that that in his mind he missed, as opposed to the ones that he made. I mean, I guess maybe he's talking about more down the left sideline, which is certainly not a routine throw. He's probably talking about the crosser to Hopkins, which kind of hit Hopkins inside hand. It was not a precise throw, but one could argue it was catchable. The one he threw to Phillips, I don't believe that was a bad throw. I think when he turned it loose, the defender, and I forget who the defender was right in his line of Phillips. So I don't know what throws he's talking about, because I think he was actually pretty good in this game and actually made some outstanding throws. Beginning with the first play of the game, I thought was a big-time throw. He showed great patience in the pocket. He hit Hopkins on kind of the tempoed inbreaker from the boundary slot. Great velocity, precise ball location. I mean, I thought he threw the ball well. I mean, I think he's just one of those kids, and like I said, I don't know him, that probably the one he missed that he thought he should have hit, in his mind, means he had a bad game. And there's athletes like that.
Yeah. So that was Greg Cosell talking about Will Levis yesterday on the podcast. Go check out the latest episode of The Install. You can also watch it on 104.5 The Zone's YouTube page. So Seattle scores 21-20. Who you got in the second half, Cowboys or Seahawks? We will talk about it together right after I remind you that the Primetime Show is made possible by Zen Sports. Whether you're wagering on Thursday Night Football, whether you're wagering on hockey, basketball, college, or pro, whatever you want, the Zen Sports app has it for you with up to $1,000, no danger first wager when you plug in the promo code ATOZTN. That also enters you to win 2 tickets to the Titans Colts VIP tailgate party, courtesy of Zen Sports, where there will be all-inclusive food, beverage, and great entertainment for you before you go to the game. A reminder that this does not include tickets to the game, but simply to the tailgate at Zen Sports. Terms and conditions do apply. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 or up in Tennessee to bet. So I'm feeling the Cowboys here tonight, although the Seahawks are frisky. I'm looking forward to seeing Seattle come to town. I think that's the Christmas Eve game for Tennessee here in Nashville. I'm looking forward to seeing them compete against Geno Smith again. It was a lot of fun a couple of years ago when they opened. No, I'm sorry, that was week 2 at Seattle with their Sunday overtime performance where Derrick Henry had an incredible game. I believe that was Geno Smith's second start as the starter for the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm looking forward to it's one of my favorite offenses to watch, to be quite honest with you. They push the ball down the field. They've got great skill position players. Geno is, of course, a great story. And all of that being said, I think the Cowboys are a better football team, and they're operating at a really, really high level right now. So I'll look forward to seeing the rest of this game play out. Look forward to seeing you guys, a lot of you guys, on Sunday at Nissan Stadium. Looks like the weather might be a bit rainy, so make sure you come prepared for the elements. When last I checked, and I'll pull up the Weather Channel app just quickly to verify. When last I checked, it looked like we were due for a little bit of rain, but 61 is supposed to be the temperature with scattered showers, a shower or 2 around the area in the morning, which is just fine with a 30% chance of rain. Good day for football. Good day for the opportunity to beat a divisional opponent, and the Titans could certainly use one. 5-7, the conversation becomes much, much more interesting around this particular Titans team, especially given how many more games. The biggest thing that they have going for them right now is how many more games they have left at home. Don't forget that the primetime show is made possible by the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. Go to GaryAshton.com and get the intel edge you need to succeed with the official real estate agent of the Nashville Predators at GaryAshton.com. Al Andretti says, we're ass. Well, yeah, you are. But on any given Sunday, you could be just a little bit less ass than the team across the field from you. And the Colts aren't that much better. So we will find out who comes out victorious. I am cautiously optimistic about the Titans' chances. I shouldn't be. They've given me no reason whatsoever to believe in them. And I don't believe in them. But because I don't believe in them, it means that they have to win a football game. So we will see. Like Mark Dalton quoting Geno Smith, they wrote me off. I didn't write back. You wrote off the Titans. We'll see if they write you back on Sunday. William Jones says that's why he can't wait for the Dome so he can avoid the rain and the weather. I kind of like, that's not true. I wouldn't sit out in the rain. I wouldn't go to a football game in the rain. I'm not going to lie to you like that. I sit in the press box. I sit in the warm and safe comfort of my very nice chair with my media lounge in the background and access to restrooms, air conditioning facilities, and the like. So I'm not going to pretend like I like football in the elements, because that's not how I experience football at all. But, while to witness games in the elements while being safe and dry is something that I very much enjoy. So we'll see if that's not the case on Sunday when the Colts come to town. Have a great rest of your evening. Have a great weekend. And I will talk to you tomorrow morning on the radio show at 10 a.m. See you guys.
This is our Colts. This is our team. We bleed blue. This is our Colts. Whether win or lose, we love them. For the shoe, beat the Titans. Let the world hear us now. This is our team.